fact is that we're actually talking about Juventus. We're not talking about another club. We're talking about Juventus, who last year finished second in the championship. But the thing that we've got to remember is Juventus have always been associated with being first. And really, the challenge last year against Milan was not really one that it was concrete. It was one where by Christmas Milan had the championship more or less sewn up, and it wasn't really until they relented that Juventus come into it. So I think that's what the frustration is with the fans.
Yeah. Milan this year, I mean, obviously the last couple of years they made it quite boring for everyone. They're starting off with a much weaker team with the injuries they've had over the last couple of weeks, the pre-season. Do you think they can be taken this time?
That depends on Milan. I think Milan are still a very powerful outfit. They haven't really added to their squad too much.
Okay. Well, we'll find out more in a second. All speculation, of course. We'll be seeing the practice instead of the theory in a minute or two when Juve strut their stuff for us live against Bari. So join us again after this break. Welcome back to the Stadio delle Alpi. Juventus against Bari, our live game coming up shortly. If you were watching before the break, you'll have seen one or two controversial views from Juventus fans in Turin. In fact, one particular angry of Turin suggested that Juve won't get any better until they get rid of Roberto Baggio. Well, as luck would have it, or bad luck rather, it looks as though they will be without the services of the divine ponytail, the world's best player today. It'll be all officially confirmed by Peter Brackley in a minute or two, but the left thigh that's been troubling him since the World Cup, and it is his own, I assure you, has actually started to worsen this week. There's an inflammation to the muscle. He's pulled out apparently of today's game. Now, Joe Jordan's here with me. I think, Joe, if the World Cup proved anything, better no Baggio than a sick Baggio in your squad.
Yes, as we've heard there from the fans as well, the circumstances regarding Baggio, people look at him as the main man, not only for Juventus but also for Italy. So today we have a Juventus team without Baggio, so it really puts extra responsibility on players who we've got to really consider as world-class players as well, so they've got to be standing up and be accounted.
Right. Just a quick thing, you were in the papers yourself this week, even here in Italy. You've parted companies with Stoke City. What exactly is the background on that?
James, in football, parting is inevitable when club politics is at stake, you know, so that's as much as I really could say about it.
Right, okay. Well, I won't press that one, but we will, in fact, return to something you were saying before the break. When you were mentioning Milan, you know, they have had a lot of injuries. Lentini's still not back to fitness. Van Basten, who knows when he'll be back. Do you think that that's going to weaken them enough for another club to take them this year?
I think it's going to be very difficult. They've still got the bases there of the championship team. It's going to be a tremendous effort because I don't think there's any team in recent history where they've won 4 championships on a trot. But I think there's still another year in Baresi. We have Maldini, who has grown. I think the experience he's had from the World Cup will make him a better player. But there are players like Diseli who have come in, and I think they're still as strong as they were. And I think they're still good enough to see off the challenges like Juventus and Parma and Sampdoria, who I think Sampdoria are going to be their nearest rivals.
Yeah, well, we shall see as the season develops. Right now, though, it's time to concentrate on our live match. Juventus against Bari. The teams, as you can see, are out on the pitch behind me. Time to hand over to our commentary team.
Thank you, James. Good afternoon from Peter Brackley. And while this won't be regarded as Juve's most difficult fixture by any means, it's nonetheless the first opportunity for us to assess the championship potential of a club whose past history demands they challenge consistently for the major honours. By their own admission, they've lagged a little behind in their preparations, but Juve's fans expect so much, as Liam Brady alongside me will testify, and they'll be anticipating a convincing display today against a side that many feel will struggle to retain their new status. No Roberto Baggio then, sadly, because of injury, or his namesake Dino, of course, since his change of allegiance to Parma. Andy Merla and Julio Cesar have departed as well. But in Paulo Sousa, the Portuguese international, and the Croatian Robert Jani, Juventus have recruited 2 players of outstanding talent, as well as Didier Deschamps, who's not in the side today. Will Vialli find his best form again? Well, that's one burning question Italian observers are asking. What is certain is that Juve have signed another uncompromising defender in Ciro Ferrara from Napoli. He'll play as a marker alongside the one surviving foreigner from last season, Jurgen Kohler, the German international. And up front, the precocious talent of young Del Piero will be in harness with Vialli and Ravanelli. Bari have retained most of the players who earned their return to the top flight this season. Not too much Serie A experience in this lineup, although the number 7, Alessio, had 4 terms, as we heard, with Juventus. And the Brazilian Gerson, who's in his second spell with Bari, he played in the main division last season with Lecce. Bari in the all-red strip. attacking the goal to our right. They certainly have potentially an exciting front player in the Colombian international, Guerrero. There was a doubt about him earlier in the week because of injury, but he's come through a fitness test to retain his place in the side. Here's an old favourite, Ravanelli. On by Yanni. Foul on Vialli. So much resting on his shoulders this season after 2 disappointing campaigns, but he ended the last one in spirited fashion. 4 goals in 2 games, including a hat-trick in their fashion of Lazio. Here's the Croatian, then Yanni with the free kick. It goes Del Piero, wearing Baggio's number 10 shirt for Juventus today. Yanni has a reputation for making excellent sorties down the flank. Certainly did that to good effect for Torino last season. Alessio there, tracking back with him. And fouling him in the end, so another early test here for these Bari defenders. Conte. And safely through to Alberto Fontana, goalkeeper for Bari. Well, Liam Brady just looking through, first of all, this Juventus side. 1 or 2 changes there, of course, this season. No Baggio, but what do you make of this lineup?
Well, I think Lippi, the Juventus coach, will want some time to put his team together. It's very early days for him. Certainly defensively, they look very strong. And as we heard in the preview, they'll be looking to Vialli and Baggio to give them the goals that they'll need if they're going to challenge for this title.
Here's Bolivio. In by Ferrara. Who I'm sure will get forward whenever the occasion arises. Marvellous servant to Napoli, of course, down the years. Ferrara, he had 17 years with the club. He was there as a junior from about the age of 10. So it was quite a wrench for him to change clubs in the summer. Here's Del Piero. Really made a name for himself with that marvellous hat-trick against Parma last season. Bolivio. And by Paulo Sousa. It's Conte now. One of the Italian World Cup squad, of course. Del Piero. Laying it back then to Bolivio. Now Vialli. Bari being pegged back here right from the off. A fierce examination for them. They were a little unfortunate to lose to Lazio last week, but this is an awesome prospect facing them in Turin, where Juventus lost only once in the league last season and emerged with the best home record in Serie A. Delivio. Fed it on for Vialli. Away by Tangora. This is he taking the throw then for Bari. Run by Conte in the air, back then off Ravanelli. Certainly doesn't lack enthusiasm. No way through for Del Piero. For the moment, Juventus camped in the Bari half. This is Yanni. Paulo Sousa. Now Bolivio. Wide of him is Jurgen Kohler. Vialli. Released by Mangone.
Well, I think we've had a fair indication, Peter, what kind of game we're going to get today. Bari camped in, hoping to get a draw, and Juventus pushing people forward from the back, trying to break this blanket defence down.
In by Ravanelli. Bari were very consistent towards the back end of last season, only 3 defeats in the last 6 months in the promotion campaign, but of course it's a different kettle of fish today against the likes of Juventus. And their initial target will be simply to survive in the highest company.
Yes, that's right. Success for them this year is to avoid relegation. On the other hand, Juventus have to win the title, I think.
Verano losing out. Cut out by Yanni. Now Paulo Sousa, who played in midweek for the Portuguese team in their success over Northern Ireland. And certainly had made a reputation for himself in Portuguese domestic football. Big shots for him this season in Serie A. Tangora with the throw. Jika wearing 4, he's the captain. Only just turned 21 and played for the under-21s in the week. Here's Gerson now, the Brazilian. Del Piero for Juventus. Delivio does work so hard at the Juve side, Delivio. Bedone, Gerson. Guerrero ahead of him, he's got good pace, this Colombian. Not unlike Asprilla or Palmer in appearance. He didn't actually play in the World Cup finals, although a Colombian international. He didn't make the final squad for the USA. He's quite a character. He's a former boxer. He certainly looks a chunky fellow. This is Kohler now, one of the best defenders in the business. Amoruso's tackle then on Vialli, on by Conte. To Paulo Sousa, who'll have the anchor role, the playmaker role really, in the Juventus side. Certainly has good passing ability. Alessio. The interception was by Paulo Sousa. Torricelli now. He's the sweeper in the side today. Luca Fusi, who's been signed from Torino, is out through injury. Ravanelli now. 9 goals from him in Serie A last season, when of course he stood in so often for the injured Vialli. This is Bedone. Coach of Bari, Materazzi, who's had Serie A experience in the past, notably with Lazio and Pisa. Indeed, he was at Lazio before Dino Zoff arrived.
Just a point there, Peter. I've seen 2 tackles from behind on Vialli that under the guidelines now the referees have been given would certainly have been yellow cards here, and this referee has just let them go. So again, it's the interpretation in different countries.
Yes, it's how they apply the new regulations. Here's Delivio now. Referee today, Giuseppe Rosica. Now they're appealing for a penalty as Vialli goes down. But he's appealing in vain. Vialli, who will feel he has so much to prove this season. And I think he was making the most of that.
Well, he's always been very good at getting penalties, Vialli, and I think he just felt the Bari defender on top of him there, and he tried to go down and get himself a penalty.
This is Yanni. Amoruso. Now just played with Lecce then last season, and also had a spell in Turkey with Fenerbahce. Alessio. Gets safely through to Peruzzi, who missed out on the World Cup finals. He was expected to be the number 3 in the Italian squad, but Luca Bucci got the vote ahead of him. Good interception then by Yanni. Here's Cola. Now Delivio. And that's a foul on Ravanelli. Yet again, he's got through the back. Different players involved this time, but so far the referee's been fairly lenient. Giuseppe Rosica, who's a doctor from Rome. We'll have news of the first goal of the afternoon in just a moment. Of course, all the latest scores as we receive them. Let's do that now. It's Padova 0, Parma 1. And Menotti, one of the Italian World Cup players, has given his team the lead. Padova 0, Parma 1. Padova promoted, of course, to the Serie A this season. Parma, one of the title favourites. Milan are away to Cagliari today. Lazio at home to Torino. Reggiana have Sampdoria as their visitors. Sampdoria, who began so impressively last week. 5 goals. David Platt was among the scorers. Free kick to Juventus. The foul on Paulo Sousa. Here's just looking for the run of Guerrero. Turn Ferrara. Delivio with Paulo Sousa. He says he's come to Italy to see just how good a player he is.
Well, I think Sousa's a very good player, and he's a player that Juventus badly needed to give them some playmaking in the centre of the field. An awful lot was depending on Baggio to come back and pick the ball up, Roberto Baggio. And they needed a player like Sousa in the middle of the park.
That's him on the ball now, finding Conte. Now Delivio. Vialli has made the run, he's got Ravanelli in the middle. Vialli's cross, Amoruso away. Vialli has certainly begun in determined fashion, having missed so much of the last season through injury. Ravanelli. Paulo Sousa. Good turn then by Conte. Ravanelli! And it spins into the grateful arms of Alberto Fontana. He was coming in from Milan's game at Cagliari, and they've taken the lead there. And the scorer, Ruud Gullit. Back with Milan this season, of course, from Sampdoria. Milan, who worked for the win last week at home to Genoa. And now they've brought first blood away to Cagliari. It's Marcello Lippi, the new coach of Juventus this season. Came from Napoli, whom he guided into the UEFA Cup. Just no foul by Yanni. Paulo Sousa for Delivio. They're doing it well, though. Bari have got 4 up in this attack. Good sound and solid defending by Jurgen Kohler. Played, of course, for the German team in the World Cup finals. Now Delivio with some space down that right side. Tangora is trying to close down. It's another foul. I don't think it'll be too long before we see the first yellow card, but not here, Liam.
Well, I can't believe it. There's been 4 or 5, what I would say, fouls that merit a yellow card, and he's just ignored them, the referee. And if he does that, the defenders will just carry on doing it.
The cries of Juve around the stadium, which is certainly not full today. Although once again, season tickets have gone well. They've sold around 35,000 of those. This is Del Piero. Floated over. Back then to Conte to drive it back in again. Jessup got a foot in. And Rizzi, the sweeper. Paulo Sousa finds Delivio. Del Piero has made the run. Covered though by Mangone.
Well, Barry haven't actually threatened Juventus's goal yet, Peter, but you do get a feeling that they're quick on the break. They've got this quick player up front, Guerrero, and they might give Juventus a few problems, especially if Juventus start pushing too far forward, trying to get this goal to break them down.
Well, he's certainly a useful goal scorer, Guerrero. 34 last season in the Colombian League for Barranquilla. Badone. Jurgen Kohler always plays with such authority. Vialli with the throw. Ravanelli, now then for Vialli. Vialli shot! And well saved by Fontana. Vialli, who of course was the Serie A leading scorer 3 seasons ago, but hasn't really made the impact he was hoping for with Juventus. On by Paulo Sousa. Vialli in pursuit. It was Ricci who steered it back to his goalkeeper. Now Conte. Paulo Sousa. Finding Vialli. Not the best of passes from him, though. And Tangora happy to settle for the goal kick. Barry, who bounced back just 2 seasons after being relegated when David Platt was the captain there. And they've got a fine crop of youngsters coming through, hoping they can blend in with the more experienced players in the side, the likes of Alessio and Gerson. Delivio, Paulo Sousa. Off goes Ravanelli, who plays with such belligerence up front.
Yeah, he's a very good player, but I just get the impression that they lack pace up front, Juventus. Vialli and Ravanelli, they're a little bit one-paced. Really, they need crosses to go in the box to damage this Barry defence.
Now Badone looking to stretch the Juve defence. The service needs to be better than that. There were 2 in the middle waiting on the cross. Badone, who is a former Como player, joining Bari last season. And he's keeping Barone out of the side, which has surprised a few people. Barone, a very experienced player, and a key one too in the promotion campaign, but he's had to settle for a place on the bench today. Torricelli. A good season for Juventus in the last campaign. Now Delivio. In towards Vialli. Alessio able to connect though. Then Jurgen Kohler in quickly. Now Vialli, has he kept it in? Yes. No. Thought he had. Sent Vialli. Torricelli. Paulo Sousa with him. They were very disappointing last week, Juventus, in their 1-1 draw at Brescia, their opening fixture. Lippi, the coach, was certainly very displeased they didn't go on to win the game, having taken the lead. Guerrero now for Bari. Looking to take on Kohler.
And not a bad effort from the centre forward, but we see Bari are able to get in behind the Juventus defence with 1 pass. I don't understand that decision. He seems to have given a corner here. Crazy decision by the referee.
Can't understand that one at all. They've sent Amoruso forward, the big number 5. Peruzzi clearly disturbed by the decision. Guerrero in the middle as well. Away by Ferrara. There's Ricci with the shot.
I think what happened there, Peter, seemed to take a deflection off the turf in front of Peruzzi there, and the referee was under the impression it took a deflection off a player and he gave the corner kick. It looks as if it's in pretty bad condition, just in front of Peruzzi on the 6-yard box.
This is Delivio now. Conte making the forward run. Vialli endeavouring to shield it, but then given away to Padone. Now Guerrero is playing with plenty of spirit so far. Not a bad ball through, just too long for Protti. Now Cola. Paulo Sousa. Also watching this match with us then today is Joe Jordan. Let's get Joe's thoughts on what you've seen so far. Joe, your early impressions?
Well, the first 20 minutes, as far as Barry is concerned, have went quite well. I think we've got to remember that we have a team here basically have never played at this level before. Certainly the majority of them are still young and inexperienced players, but I think they've defended quite well, and they've shown on one or two occasions that they're quite capable of catching Juventus on the break. And it's the same old story. It's a bit of cat and mouse, but Juventus will just need to be very, very careful.
So there's the cross from Padone towards Protti. Certainly don't appear to be overawed so far, Barry, playing in this intimidating stadium, as it certainly is for visiting fans. And as you'll remember, Liam, from your days, they don't lose too many at home, Juventus. Olivio now. Tackle from Mangone. It's Tangora, in fact, who comes sliding in. It's a corner anyway. Juve second of the game. Headed by Vialli. But so far, Juventus struggling really to find any kind of rhythm against a Bari side who seem to be fairly well organised at the back. Very limited Serie A experience among their defenders. And as Joe John was saying, when they've broken themselves, Guerrero in particular has posed a problem or two. Guerrero, who cost £900,000 from Junior Barranquilla in Colombia. Caruso policing Ravanelli. Laid back by Guerrero. Chica. And again, Bari breaking positively. This is Mangone. And a pity you couldn't have made more of that. Conte now. Harassed by Gerson and fouled by him. Conte, who scored Juve's first goal of the season in that 1-1 draw at pressure. Ferrara. Vialli toppled again. Still no punishment from the referee other than the free kick. Del Piero leaving this one for Paulo Sousa and Ravanelli to organise between them. Paulo Sousa there, a £4 million signing from Sporting Lisbon. This is Ravanelli, who's got a fierce left foot drive, as we saw so often last season. But Bari so far defending resiliently. Vialli now to hook it across. No problem for Fontana. News of another goal scored by Foggia at home to pressure this afternoon. Matt Delhi has given Foggia the lead. Foggia 1, Brescia 0. Brescia promoted last season and shared that 1-1 draw then with Juventus last week. Likely to be a hard season for them. 25 minutes gone, no goals, not too much for the crowd to get excited about so far. Fontana, the goalkeeper here, who took over from Sebastiano Rossi at Cesena before his move to Bari. Rossi, of course, the Milan goalkeeper. Goals elsewhere. Lazio have now taken the lead against Torino. Torino, the side we featured last week. Lazio 1, Torino 0. And surprise, surprise, Signori has scored. Top scorer in Serie A for the last 2 seasons. He opened his account last week and he's got another one today. Signori indeed with a winner against Bari last Sunday. Paulo Sousa. Often looked for a telling pass in this first half, but hasn't found his mark at all. Delivio. Helped on by Vialli to Conte. Now Ferrara. Ferrara with the foot in. Paulo Sousa having to chase back. He's not the quickest of players. He's a quick thinker, though. He believes that counts for a great deal. Foul on Del Piero. Now Ferrara. Amoruso away. Only as far as Del Piero. Playing in Baggio's role just behind the front two of Vialli and Ravanelli. Guerrero now. Well-timed tackle from Torricelli. Paulo Sousa finds Vialli. Amoruso, as ever, was right on top of him. Torricelli now. Alessio. Gerson confronted illegally by Torricelli. Certainly a late tackle by the Juventus defender, who so impressed Arrigo Sacchi last season, Torricelli, and he was called up for one of his get-togethers and will be hoping to make the national team this season. Well, not too much to encourage Lippi so far. They weren't looking very sharp pre-season, Juventus. Doesn't look like being a good afternoon for pressure either. They're now 2-0 down, away to Foggia. And it's a penalty from Biagioni that has increased Foggia's lead. Foggia 2, Brescia 0. In case you missed it earlier, Milan have taken the lead away to Cagliari, a goal from Ruud Gullit. On by Guerrero. This is Torricelli to tidy up for Juventus. Now Yanni. Down goes Vialli. Play on, says the referee. Gerson. Laid back then by Guerrero for Alessio. What a careless pass by him. A lot of mistakes in the first half. Delivio. So far, not really a chance created worthy of the name. Alessio again. On by Gerson for Guerrero to pursue. Torricelli losing out then to Majika. Here's Guerrero now. Good shots. Well, he hit it cleanly enough, and Peruzzi down to smother the shot. But he's looking very sprightly, Guerrero. And he's proving quite a handful for the Juve defenders. Paulo Sousa now. Spotting the run of Vialli. Banconi, though, denying him a route to go.
Yeah, there was a little chance there for Bari. Mistake by Juventus sweeper Torricelli. And although they're not enjoying the same amount of possession as the Juventus team, Bari, I think that the team look more likely to break through. Juventus, very deliberate, very, very predictable, no pace up front. And I think they're struggling to get in behind this Bari defence.
Yes, it's all been rather laborious so far from Juventus. But too ponderous in their build-up. Maybe now they can create something. Amoruso, the covering defender. It goes Ferrara, now Conte. Certainly no real imagination shown by Juventus so far. Del Piero, who is a player capable of providing it. But cohesion is lacking. That's yet another tackle that's come in from behind. And I thought that meant a booking, Liam.
Well, the guidelines have come from FIFA, UEFA for all nationalities, all nations.
Perhaps he's been away on holiday. Paulo Sousa, away by Amoruso. Only as far as Yanni, and already the crowd beginning to show their frustration and their impatience at the way Juventus are playing. Torricelli. Vialli. Paulo Sousa with a pass.
There's a good ball from Sousa, good run from Torricelli, right from central defence. He broke out, and Sousa really needs people to run for him. He can deliver the passes, but unfortunately with Vialli and Ravanelli up front, they haven't got the pace to run into space.
Ferrara, the number 2, is forward for Juventus. He's always a danger on set pieces. And Yanni! Well, he failed to score for Torino last season, and he won't do so for Juventus unless he can deliver a shot better than that. Now, there's been another goal, though, somewhere else. It's another one for Parma. Asprilla, the Colombian we mentioned earlier on, has struck now for Parma, away to Padova. No goals in the Cremonese-Napoli game, but the Napoli defender, Tarantini, has been sent off. So they're down to 10 men. Cremonese 0, Napoli 0. Here's Delivio now, progressing down that right side for Juventus, as he did to good effect last season. Replacement really for Di Canio. But off come Bari now on the break. Giasson linking with Guerrero. Good tackle by Torricelli, who, apart from that one error, has begun in confident fashion. But as Liam was saying, it's all too predictable really from Juventus so far. Del Piero. Having to cope today, Juventus without Roberto Baggio, but there is a feeling, I don't know what your views are on it, Liam, that maybe they've relied too much on him in the past, and certainly that appeared to be the case with Italy as well.
Well, I think it's true. He's a great player, and maybe he's hidden really deficiencies in the Juventus side and in the Italian side with his ability. When he's not there, they're struggling.
Ferrara with the clearance. Baggio, who will certainly be out for at least one more week. He won't play in the European game in midweek. On by Cola to Del Piero. Paulo Sousa battling well, caught down by Alessio. Still no sign of a yellow card.
Well, he must have left him in the dressing room, Peter.
Oh.
I can't understand it. Look at this, tackles from behind, from the side. I don't really understand. The referees, English referees must be watching this and shaking their heads.
And Juventus are warming up Alessio Tacchinardi, their 19-year-old midfield player. So maybe they're going to make a switch in a minute. Torricelli with the cross in. The cheer, incidentally, a moment or so ago was because Milan have conceded a goal. Deli Valdez scoring for Cagliari, so it's Cagliari 1, Milan 1. Another goal too for Lazio, and at Boksic, the Croatian has added another one for them against Torino. Lazio 2, Torino 0. Good early signs for Paul Gascoigne's team, Lazio. Here's Alessio for Bari. It goes just. Now Paulo Sousa. Caught in possession though by Bajika. He's a very promising young player. Man of the match for his team last week. Olivio covering back. Just managing to outmaneuver Tangora. Tangora, one of the locals in the side for the Bari team. Paulo Sousa, Delivio. Wanting some movement ahead of him. Del Piero, a sharp turn, but no finish to match.
He holds his hands out there and he's saying to Vialli, well, what else could I do? It was a good try from Del Piero.
And here is Tacchinardi. Replacing Paulo Sousa. Well, there has been a suggestion that he wasn't fully fit, Paulo Sousa. And he played in midweek, as I mentioned earlier, for the Portuguese team, so maybe he has been carrying an injury. Anyway, he's taking no further part in this game.
Well, he was on the end of a fairly hefty tackle from the Bari number 4, Bajika.
Yeah.
And I think he signalled to the bench, to Lippi, but he wasn't able to continue, and they changed him straight away.
Alessio Tacchinardi, as I say, just 19 years old, and he's only played 9 times in Serie A, having arrived from Atalanta back in the summer. And he'll slot into Sosa's role in midfield, presumably. Maybe a little bit of readjusting to do. Vialli. It is Tacchinardi. Player of whom I gather they have very high hopes at Juventus. Well, they need something to spark them up. Frustration for Ravanelli this time. On by Mangoni. He's making progress again, at least he was, until the anticipation of Torricelli wins possession back for Juventus. Delivio. Vialli. Torricelli once more. Vialli trying to service Ravanelli. Wasn't the best of touches though. Conte can't get through, nor can Del Piero. Amoruso with a back header to Gerson. Surely a foul then by Tacchinardi. It's gone unpunished by the referee. His leniency has Liam Brady shaking his head in disbelief. Vialli now with the cross. Doesn't fall for Ravanelli. Whacked away then by Alessio. Cola. Delivio. Now Conte trying to squeeze it back into the path of Vialli, but no problem for Fontana. 5 minutes of the first half to go. And still very few opportunities being created by Juventus. And the crowd will get on their backs if this continues. They're much happier in Rome, where Lazio have now scored a third goal at home to Torino. Another one for Signori. Ferrara attacking there with Bijika. Free kick to Juventus. Foggia have now got a third one at home to Brescia. Bresciani. Foggia 3, Brescia 0. Could do with a goal in this game. But in fairness, Juventus really haven't looked like scoring too often. If anything, Bari have created more danger on the break. Now, is this going to be a chance for Ravanelli to have a strike at goal? That'll be in the minds of Fontana. Bari have pulled absolutely everybody back to defend this free kick. Touched off to Ravanelli. Again, the wall has done its job. Ferrara. Delivio. And so far, a really jaded display by Juventus. Nakadani. At least it was a shot at goal, but no more than that. What we've seen so far, Liam, this is not a championship side, is it, by any means?
No, but what Lippi, the Juventus coach, needs is a bit of time. But it is disturbing to see the forward line, such a lack of pace. I don't think Baggio's the answer to that either. Baggio, obviously, when he gets possession of the ball, is brilliant, and he can make really telling passes and score goals. But I think they need somebody up front with pace.
Here's Conte now. Theatrical dive by Ravanelli. Then Amoruso to thump it into the stands.
It's not easy either, Peter, with when the opposition more or less play everybody back, 10 at the back, and just leave somebody one up front.
Flick on by Vialli. So far, the combination of Vialli and Ravanelli has failed to unhitch the Bari defence. Marshaled around Amoruso. There's Kohler. Away in bizarre fashion by Peruzzi. I suppose you'd almost turn that a half chance, Liam. We haven't seen many, so.
No, I think Kohler was a pretty dangerous ball there. He was looking for his right back, Ferrara, and he nearly screwed it into his own net.
Player who rarely panics, Kohler. Way to Ferrara. We're now into the final minute of the first half. Ravanelli. Del Piero with a forward run. Vialli was in there as well. But again, there's no end product to Juventus's approach play. Del Piero. Now Torricelli just managing to shake off the challenge from Proti. On by Conte. Ravanelli. Gerson. Foul by Del Piero. It's been a very untidy first half. But I suppose from Bari's point of view, a satisfying first 45 minutes, Liam.
Yeah, they've been good. As Joe said earlier on, they're defending very well. Probably they've had a bit of leniency from the referee as regards yellow cards.
Maybe a chance here brewing for Bari. Just to look for Pedone. Guerrero still in the middle. A tape finish to a promising move. Off goes Torricelli. Now Takinadi. Vialli's header. A very disappointing first half, one has to say. Juventus have created so little to trouble Fontana in the Bari goal. Whistles all round the stadium from the Juve fans. And well, from Bari's angle, I suppose you could say they've done well enough. They've had a couple of harsh chances too on the break. Let's hope for better things in the second half. That's the way of it then in Turin at the moment. Juventus 0, Bari 0. We'll be back in a couple of minutes from now.
6 months ago, I couldn't possibly have predicted what was going to happen. For many years, I lived with my husband, a compulsive gambler, here. Then, one day, he decided to leave, which was terribly unfortunate, because the very next day, I won the national lottery. How he would have enjoyed spending the money. Unfortunately, he never got the opportunity.
Safran by Renault. The car you have when you can have what you want.
In such an assembly, it was impossible for the heart not to dilate and expand itself. My own was often full, and I have seen a tragedy with less emotion than I did this scene of joy. Sicily, tourism, culture, and nature.
Your heart beats around 100,000 times a day. Your eyes take in more information than the largest telescope known to man. Your lungs inhale over 2 million liters of air every year. Your hearing is so sensitive, it can distinguish between hundreds of thousands of different sounds. Your brain is more complex than the most powerful computer. You're amazing. We want you to stay that way.
If you know where I'm at, I will get a kick from that. Man, I'll blow you away. I'll blow you away.
The Sony mini disc can do everything ordinary tape can do. Except on mini disc, you can record digitally.
Okay.
It has random access.
Take you away.
It's capable of taking the odd little knock.
Blow you away. I'll blow you away.
And it's as portable as you are. The Sony mini disc, the future of tape.
Plenty of sunshine heading my way.
Thousands of free holidays for children for summer '95. That's how far air tours go to make you happy.
The new Glowworm Energy Saver is a condensing gas boiler. Unlike less efficient boilers which waste heat into the air, the Glowworm Energy Saver recycles it. In fact, the Glowworm Energy Saver is so efficient, it can save up to 30% off your gas running costs. With the introduction of VAT on all fuels too, that's a saving you can't ignore. For more information on the new Glowworm Energy Saver, call 0800 508 509 now.
When you can have what you want, you'll probably have this. The Safran Executive.
Welcome back to the Stadio delle Alpi. Half-time here between Juventus and Bari. 0-0, unfortunately, at the moment, but time anyway for some fun with figures as we have a quick race through the half-time scores on this day 2 of the season. We start on the beautiful island of Sardinia, where Cagliari are currently drawing 1-1 with Milan. Hullet, the first scorer there, then Dali Valdez equalising. Over at Cremona, Cremonese 1-0 up over Napoli for Jancic, the scorer there. Napoli now down to 10 men after Tarantino was sent off, as Peter mentioned earlier. Foggia 3-0 up over Brescia. The first scorer wasn't Mandelli, as we said earlier. It was, in fact, Di Vincenzo. Then Biagioni with a penalty, and then Bresciani putting them 3 ahead. Lucky people. At Cesena, Genoa are playing Fiorentina. That's on a neutral ground after the troubles in the derby in Genoa last season. 0-0, though, the score there. Juventus 0-0 with Bari. Lazio 3-0 up against Torino. Signori, Boksic, and yes, Signori again. And Padova at home to Parma. Much the same story for them as last week. Parma already 2 goals up. One from the captain Minotti, then Asprilla, the Colombian, adding the second. Reggiana Sampdoria 0-0. That wraps things up. Only 1 game left. Inter Roma, that's the evening game tonight, and what a cracker it should be. On the one hand, Inter with Sousa and Bergkamp. On the other, Roma's an atomic couple, as they like to call them in the capital, of Balbo and Fonseca together for the first time this season. Remember, you can watch that game. It's on later on tonight here in Italy, but you can watch it in our Mezzanotte programme on Tuesday night in Great Britain. Okay, well, now quickly time to move across to our competition, which is something quite special. It's something we've just introduced this week. It's time to have a look at a selection of goals. Excuse me for a second there, I'm just getting a bit confused with my notes. But anyway, the message is this: you can win a top-notch Alitalia Ital Tours tour, holiday in fact, to a game here in Serie A and savour this fantastic atmosphere if you can select the best of this selection of last season's goals.
Our first competition of the season gives you the chance to see the action live. Just watch 8 great strikes from last season and make your choice for the goal of the season. So a check on those 8 goals. Make your selection and call us on 0891 11 44 11. If you make the right choice, you could be on your way to Italy to enjoy a top Serie A fixture.
If you'd like a new kind of credit card, sign here.
Welcome back. The second half just underway in the Stadio delle Alpi in Turin. Juventus 0, Bari 0. And it's Gianluca Ricci with a free kick for Bari, who defended well in that first 45 minutes against what has to be said was a fairly uninspired Juventus side. This is Delivio now. Their coach Lippi has warned they may not get going for a while this season. Juventus, but nonetheless, no excuse really for their rather lackluster display. I felt they were behind in their preparations, and that it would take a few matches for them to get into their stride. But by then, they might well have lost some ground in the title race. 3 points for a win, remember. They dropped 2 last week, and they're in danger of dropping more today. Here's Jurgen Kohler, who will miss the start of their European campaign. He's got a 4-match ban after sending off against Canary last season in the UEFA Cup. Now off goes Guerrero. He had Proti in support in the middle. But worked away by Kohler. And now there's an offside flag. The referee, though, allowing the advantage. And it's Delivio for Juve. Now Vialli. Trying to turn Mangone. Delivio. It's a foul by Mangone. Del Piero with the free kick. Vialli. Now Delivio. The referee waving play on. Hoping to allow Juventus the advantage, presumably here. As he didn't think it was a foul. Kohler, Delivio. Fontana, who's hardly had a shot to save in this game. Block throw by Yanni. Amoruso with a header out. Then on from Padone. Here's Kohler. Juventus at least opening with a little more purpose. Yanni. And they were looking for his surges down the flank in the first half, Juve, but there were very few of them. Vialli marauding now. Away by Amoruso. Del Piero will take the corner. Kohler has come forward. Vialli in there too, of course, and Ravanelli. Doesn't fall for Conte. Tacchinardi, the substitute who came on in the first half for Paulo Sousa. Vialli now. Good defending by Amoruso. Yanni. Now Conte. Has Yanni kept it in? He has, and he's forced the corner. Again, Del Piero has gone across to take it. Ferrara forward as well this time. But his path was blocked then. Save catch by Fontana.
Well, that was a disappointing corner from Del Piero. Sometimes when games are like this, very tight, very hard to break down the opposition, you need to put the ball in at set pieces in good areas. And that was a very poor corner from Del Piero when Juventus have had Barry pinned in for a few minutes.
Lippi being told to stay in his seat. On by Delivio. Proti now. Again, a well-timed intervention by Torricelli.
Yeah, he's been great today, Torricelli.
He's made such enormous progress, Torricelli, since joining Juventus. Here's Guerrero now, though. They've got 3 in support in the box. Guerrero with the cross. Proti. Way by Ferrara. Vialli. Del Piero. Covering by Amoruso. Amoruso, who played in Serie A for Bari when they were in the top flight before, then as an 18-year-old. Local player who's come up through the youth ranks. Yanni. Won by Conte. Amoruso with a back pass. And Fontana almost nonchalantly clearing. But not very far. Jurgen Kohler. Delivio. Now Kohler. And Scherson couldn't clear. And in the end, Alessio to the rescue to bail his team out. Here's the corner. Takinari to knock it back in again. Forward by Torricelli. Del Piero. Takinari. Del Piero. Vialli steers it wide. Juventus were appealing for a penalty. On went Vialli and couldn't convert the opportunity. But is that a foul then on Del Piero? He's given a goal kick.
Well, it looked very much like a penalty to me. I don't really understand the referee's decision. If he thought it was a penalty or not, he might have played the advantage for Vialli, because Vialli was more or less on the penalty spot, but his side foot shot just went outside the post.
Well, either way, it was a narrow escape for Bari. Just about the closest Juventus have come to scoring in this game. Robert Yardi now. At least they're playing with a bit more endeavour in the second half, Juventus. No doubt Lippi had some strong words to say at half-time, the coach. On by Amoruso. Again, tight marking by Kohler. On Guerrero. He looks to be a good signing by Bari, Guerrero. Alessio with the free kick. Former Juventus player, remember? Almost a header then for Guerrero, didn't time it too well. And safely out for a goal kick to Juventus. Well, Joe Jordan, we didn't get time to hear from you. I didn't have time to hear from you at half-time, Joe. Let's pick up your thoughts on the game now.
Well, my thoughts, Peter, are the same as yourselves, and what Liam's already said. I think it was lacked inspiration really in the first 45 minutes. I didn't think the Sousa looked fit. Maybe the introduction of Takinari can help them, but it's an indication of how badly things are when you've got a young lad like Takinari coming on and you're looking for him to give you the inspiration.
Well, they certainly need some. Del Piero on for Vialli. Here comes Pashika. Excellent pass too. Guerrero now. And smart piece of goalkeeping by Peruzzi as Protti came herring through. Always the danger that Juventus might get caught on the break.
Yeah, Bari could have opened the scoring there if Guerrero's pass had been a bit better.
Neat skill by Vialli, and that surely has to be a yellow card. Amoruso, yet another foul, as Vialli, I'm sure, is pointing out. That's a blatant trip. I can't believe he has not cautioned him. If there's a referee's assessor in the stand, he won't be too impressed, I'm sure, with the referee's performance today. Time after time, he's failed to issue a yellow card, and under the new regulations, he most certainly should have done. Del Piero. Takinari. Off goes Vialli. Needs a quality cross here towards Ravanelli. Bari survive again, but they're under a bit of pressure now. Ferrara. Too easily broken up. Now Gerson. Bari springing quickly forward from defence to attack. Alessio. Guerrero. Away by Ferrara. Finds Delivio. Now Tacchinardi. Well-placed pass by Hector to find Ravanelli. Vialli in the middle. Surrounded by red shirts, though. Here's Tacchinardi. No way through for him either. Conte, Delivio. Tacchinardi, Del Piero. Well, we saw his finishing ability in the match against Parma last season when he collected a hat-trick. And that was a sharp piece of shooting there that could easily have earned his team a goal.
Yes, it looks a more determined Juventus this half to make that breakthrough. And it was a very good shot with his left foot from Del Piero, not very far away.
Down by Tacchinardi. He's done well since coming on. Torricelli now. Ferrara. Drilled in towards Ravanelli. It's all Juventus now. Torricelli. He's played as well as anyone. Delivio. Vialli, on goes Torricelli. Little nudge then. Still Torricelli. Trying to pull it back. Maybe with more confidence, he might have had a crack at goal himself. Tacchinardi. Now Ravanelli. Turn back into Bajica. Hoisted forward this time by Ferrara. Amoruso coolly away. Alessio. Good anticipation though by Cola. Conte now. Here's Tacchinardi. Cola's forward again. Still Cola. Just going back to the lack of yellow cards, Lee, we were talking at half-time about it. I mean, if he penalised the defender the first time he got into the back of Vialli, he couldn't do it again.
Well, that's right, and I think it's it makes for a better game then. The emphasis is on the defender to actually defend, not make fouls to get him out of situations. And I think it's allowed more freedom to the forward players, but Vialli and Ravanelli haven't had it today because the referee has been so lenient.
Well, now there's a problem for Igor Proti of Bari. Proti, who is in his third season with Bari and had chances to have got a goal last week when they lost at home to Lazio. And now he's being helped off the field then to receive some further attention as the new regulations are adhered to.
Well, they've got those right anyway.
Got those right, yeah.
That probably had nothing to do with the referee, though.
Again, the referee seeing nothing wrong. Peruzzi showing his heading ability again. That's twice in this game he's been called upon to head the ball. At least he's given him something to do. "15 minutes into the second half. Tacchinardi with the pass. It's cut out again. In fairness to Bari, they've generally defended pretty doggedly so far. Here's Cola being hounded by Guerrero. who won't come up against many tougher markers than him. Ferrara. Well, no goals here. There are some elsewhere. I'll give you those in a moment. But first of all, let's just reflect on the substitution here. Galtieri is coming on. Camine Galtieri. Or rather, no, so Barone, sorry. Barone is wearing 15. A player we were surprised not to see in the starting lineup from the game last week. He did so much for them in the last campaign, Barone. Brought on just to steady things down. And it's Prati, the player who was injured, who has been replaced. And Juventus are putting Marocchi through his paces down on the touchline, so he may well be coming on soon as well. Now, news of that other goal. It's another goal for Parma. Panama 0, Parma 3 now. Another for Asprilla, the Colombian, his second of the game. And he wasn't selected last week, so that's his answer to the coach. Padova, of course, the team with Alexi Lalas in their defence. A somewhat inauspicious start to the new season for him. They were trounced by Sampdoria last week. The Americans beaten by England and Alan Shearer in the week. And now Padova in big trouble again. Jica on to Guerrero. Barone, who's got a good chance as he showed there. Another tackle from behind. Still no yellow card.
Well, I actually got the ball there. I didn't even think it was a foul, Peter.
Tangora. On goes Tangora again. No, maybe that was a bit harsh, that one, but certainly his leniency has been a feature of the game, the referee. And I do feel if he'd stamped down on one or two of the tackles early on, the likes of Vialli would have had a bit more freedom than they've had. That's a bad tackle then. Tacchinardi on Barone. Barone again. And offside against Guerrero. Cola. On by Yanni or Ravanelli. Now Cola. Again, Bari happy to sit back, defenders behind the ball, as Juventus look to stretch them now. Yanni with the cross. Di Livio. This is Ferrara. Del Piero. Some neat play by him. Now Di Livio. He's got Ravanelli in the middle. Vialli as well. Vialli scores. And at last, the breakthrough for Juventus. Almost at the halfway point in the second half. Juventus lead, and it's Vialli on the score sheet.
Yeah, it was the first real good move that Juventus have put together. Good ball from Vialli originally out to Di Livio. First time that he's really got the ball into an area to hurt the Bari defence. And Vialli's put in a great header there in the far corner. Tremendous goal from Vialli.
Superbly executed header then by Vialli. And well, you could sense the relief around the stadium now from the Juventus fans. It most certainly has not been an impressive display by the team. But at least they have some reward, and maybe now Bari will come out a little more. Medone. Up goes Ravanelli. And it was was the attention two defenders were paying to him, I think, that left Vialli with a little bit of space in the penalty box. Certainly more room than the Bari coach would have liked. But having said that, it was a clinical finish by him.
Well, I mentioned earlier on, Peter, that Vialli and Ravanelli haven't really got the pace to run in behind people, but what they can do is they can head the ball. But the Juventus in the first half didn't really deliver any telling crosses. And that was the first time that Delivio really delivered the right kind of ball. And Vialli finally lost his marker. And it was a tremendous header.
Fontana beaten at last. You could see there the expression of disappointment on his face. Bari, having defended so well, but finally unlocked. And now it looks as if they're going to lose Bajika, who is very important to them. Well, Joe Jordan, do you think we're going to see more of an adventurous approach from Bari now?
Well, I hope so. I think they have defended well, and I think Juventus have got to take some of the blame for that, because they didn't show any inspiration in the first half. They lacked ideas. They went a bit pedestrian up front. I think they could maybe take some of the criticism away from him by looking at the referee. I think he's been consistent in the fact that he's allowed both teams to commit fouls that maybe us back in Great Britain look at and see that would actually collect a yellow card. That was what was laid down from the World Cup, and he's not implemented at all. He's been consistent in both teams. He's allowed the tackles to come through, and I think that's affected Juventus, because I don't think they've been allowed to get playing. I would like to finish by saying that the fact that I would say that Vialli is the most relieved man in the stadium at this moment in time. I think there's only been one chance, clear-cut chance, and that was at the start of the second half, and Vialli missed it. So I'm pleased for him that he's had the opportunity and he's finished it off in tremendous style. He's put it in the back of net, and I think he'll be relieved. I think we'll maybe see him playing a little bit more with more freedom than he has done so far.
Well, let's hope so. Certainly a headed goal that Joe himself would have been proud of from Vialli. We saw there the substitution, Cavalieri coming on for Bari in place of their captain Bajika. This is Vialli, another foul. This time Ricci is the offender. He still has not produced a yellow card. Well, Vialli must be wondering what he's got to do. Well, I find this amazing. Here's Vialli now. Chipped in just beyond Ravanelli. Conte arriving as well.
A tremendous skill from Vialli in the first instance to give the ball to Ravanelli, and then he's dribbled round Ricci, and he's in a very, very dangerous position, and Ricci has just taken him out of the game, and the referee's just given a foul. It's impossible to understand this guy's decisions today.
Cavalieri, fouled by Ferrara. Cavalieri, who was sent off last week after he'd come on in the second half as a substitute, and he was sent off for diving, his second yellow card offence. So an opportunity here then for Bari. Alessio has taken over the armband. The shot charged down. Goes Guerrero, but no, Yanni's there first. And he'll get chopped here, no question about it. Amoruso, for the umpteenth time, has committed an offence, and at last a yellow card. Good heavens, he has brought it with him.
Well, he's got that wrong as well, Peter, because that should have been a red card.
Absolutely. You could see it coming. Made no attempt whatsoever to play the ball, and that should be a sending off. And he has committed foul after foul after foul, Amoruso. I can't believe he's still on the field.
This referee looks a bit like Fabio Capello, the Milan coach. Are you sure it's not him, Pete?
Perhaps it is. Alessio now. That came off the arm of Vialli. Well, the guidelines are absolutely clear, and this referee has ignored them totally. Foul on Kohler. Guerrero was holding him off. But at least the Juve fans are a bit happier now with their team having scored, even if they haven't created very many openings. Del Piero couldn't wriggle past the tackle though. Barone through the middle. Torricelli though always the favourite to get there first. Ferrara. He has had an outstanding game, Torricelli, at the back for Juventus. Delivio now. They certainly won't settle for the one goal. The crowd won't allow them to. Barone. Barone in his third season now with Bari. Here's Guerrero. Away by Torricelli. Vialli, the goal scorer. Excellent pass from Del Piero. Here's Ravanelli now, but he just didn't have the pace. That was a good recovery by Amoruso. Tangoro now. This could be a chance. Cavalieri. No, Torricelli outsmarting him again. The Juve player down injured, so Torricelli will have to play it into touch. Ferrara may well need some attention here.
Yeah, that was a very good chance for Bari there. Tremendous defending from, I think, our man of the match, Torricelli. Just to go back to the referee again, Peter, I know it's a little bit monotonous to go on about it, but Amoruso must have made at least 10 fouls in this game so far. And he's been booked for a foul, really, that merited a red card. And I can't understand, you know, this referee's thinking today. It's extraordinary.
Well, we'll see what the assessors have to say about it. It's Mangone. Vialli, that was a good touch then, not so though from Ravanelli, who is nothing if not wholehearted in his performances for Juventus, Ravanelli, but doesn't always have the best of first touches. Conte now. Here's Ravanelli. Thread it on well. Del Piero, Ravanelli again. Again, just didn't quite have the pace to go clear. Amoruso. Barone. Back that by Ricci to Fontana. Bari have lost on their last 6 visits to Juventus. And up against it again today then, thanks to Vialli's goal. Conte. This is Ferrara. Looking for the run of Vialli, who was onside. But across came Mangone. 15 minutes left. Bari unable to show any more enterprise at the moment, with Juventus still calling the tune. Vialli. Tacchinari, found by Peruzzi's clearance. That was what he intended. Kohler. Now Yari. Kohler steaming forward again until Amoruso came across. But he's defended fairly. He's actually played quite well, Amoruso. Del Piero, that was an astute pass there. Might be more danger for Bari now. Del Piero will certainly come into things more in the second half. Only 19, remember. And labelled with attack by Trapattoni, his former coach, as the new Paolo Rossi, or at least being compared to him, which is a hard act to follow. But he has had more impact in the second half, Del Piero, and I'm sure is an exciting player for the future. Torricelli. Here's Vialli. Amoruso trying to bring him down. Vialli's cross, and well caught out of the air by the goalkeeper then, Fontana. News coming in of a goal for Fiorentina, last season's second division champions. They're a goal up away to Genoa, the match being played at Cesena's ground. And the Argentine international Batistuta is the man who has given his team the lead. Genoa 0, Fiorentina 1. On by Alessio, Guerrero. Cavalieri lurking in the middle. He was their top scorer last season, Bari. Cavalieri with 14 goals in Serie B. And Brescia have now pulled a goal back against Foggia. It's now 3-1. And Rossetti, the scorer for Brescia. And looks like a yellow card for Tacchinardi. Foul on just. It's all a bit late now, though.
Yeah, that's probably that lad's first foul, and he gets a yellow card for it. And we've had defenders making 6, 7 fouls and getting away with it.
Del Piero is going off to be replaced by Giancarlo Marocchi. Maybe beginning to tire a little, Del Piero. Though I certainly thought he did better in the second half. Marocchi, who's in his 7th season now with Juventus. Lots of comings and goings. He always seems to survive it all. Giason's touch. Down goes Cavalieri. And he's given the penalty. A controversial decision. Cavalieri, who last week was sent off when he tried to claim a penalty, and the referee decided he was overreacting. But was that a tug then on the shirt, Liam?
Yes, definitely. My first look at it, I didn't think it was a penalty. I felt Cavalieri threw himself on the deck, but Ferrara definitely had his hands on his shirt, pulled him back. It was a very stupid thing to do from Ferrara. I don't think Cavalieri was in any position to score a goal.
So from right out of the blue, an opportunity for Bari to draw level. Juve fans doing their best to put Guerrero off. Golden opportunity for him. And he saved! Peruzzi with the save. He gets the right way, and it really wasn't struck decisively by Guerrero. It gave Peruzzi a chance, and with 10 minutes left, Peruzzi has preserved his team's lead. A word from Liam on the penalty in a moment. Let's stay with the corner here. What a let-off for Juventus.
Well, it really was a very, very poor penalty from Guerrero. Very, very weak shot. And as you said, Peruzzi gets the right way, and he was always going to save it, Peter.
Wake up, Juventus with Delivio. Now Tacchinardi. Pulls for offside. A turn down. Ravanelli. Conte in the middle. And Vialli, and it squirms away for the corner. It really should have been more serious for Bari there.
Yeah, I feel Ravanelli should have had that ball across the front of the goal much earlier than he did. But I think that's another indication of his lack of pace. He doesn't get away from people. If that had been the likes of Signori or Boksic, who play for Lazio, I think we would have had a goal there.
Yanni with the corner. In goes Kohler! It's 2! And dramatically, the game has swung totally away from Bari, just when they might have got back on level terms. Barutzi's penalty save proving so vital as Juve stretch their lead at the other end. A really firm header down by Jurgen Kohler.
Well, there's another look at the penalty. But Juventus's goals come from a good header from Kohler, but Bari would be wondering about the marking there. They let him have a free header. Nobody attacked the ball in the Bari defence. And Kohler's come in late. And a good lesson as well. He's headed the ball down and gone underneath Fontana's body.
8 minutes left. Juventus 2, Bari 0. That's Kohler going into the back of Guerrero. And the referee didn't even deem it to be a foul. Tacchinardi. Cavalieri. Guerrero. And how they will now be ruining that penalty miss by Guerrero, the Colombian international. A real escape for Juventus, and then they pounced to strike back at the other end. Jurgen Kohler with his first of the season.
Yes, Juventus should have really scored on the break from that penalty miss. But they got the corner, and now they really should go on to win the match.
Barutzi very much the hero. Conte. Delivio having to chase back. Genoa have now equalised against Fiorentina. Onorati to make it 1-1. And the news was greeted with a loud cheer from Juventus fans. Fiorentina are not favoured by Juve supporters. Here's Vialli with the cross. Barone with Tangora. Barone submitting close control until he was upended by Tacchinardi. Badone. But I think you'd have to feel now, Leon, that Bari's chance has gone.
Yes, Juventus actually deserved to win the match. Bari only came with one thing in mind, and I think they looked likely to get away with it because some of Juventus' play was so laborious. But then once they've made the breakthrough, they've looked by far the better side. Bari had a chance there with the penalty, but they didn't take it, and that's going to be crucial.
A very lethargic display by Juventus in the first half, but they've shown more urgency since the break. And they have their reward with the 2 goals. Tonicelli with the free kick. Won by Vialli. Ravanelli. In goes Marocchi. Now Conte. Good first-time pass for Delivio to chase. And Tangora to tidy up for Bari. Barone. Former Foggia player, Barone. Cavalieri. inside the last 5 minutes now. Just kept in by Mangoni. Conte. Off goes Ravanelli. He's onside and he's clear. Is this going to be 3? He took it too far and allowed Fontana to bravely close him down. Courageous goalkeeping, but Ravanelli will have to look upon that as a squandered opportunity.
Yes, he overran it. And he could only really lunge to try and get a shot in. He didn't have the ball under control. And the keeper did make a very brave save.
And he's suffering for it now. Alberto Fontana. He played well at Lazio last week, or against Lazio, but do nothing really to stop Signori from scoring. Beaten twice today. And he certainly kept the score down there with 3 minutes remaining. Now thankfully he seems to be okay. Ravanelli denied a goal. Delivio taking the throw. Conte. Delivio. Now Conte with a chance to curl it in. Away by Amoruso. Juventus chasing their first title, of course, since 1986. And they haven't really opened in too impressive fashion. Although it looks now as if they're going to have a victory here. Conte. Marocchi. Still Marocchi. Good save by the keeper. In goes Vialli. A scramble. Now the whistle had gone. But it was Marocchi who so nearly guided in a third then for Juventus, which maybe would have been a bit harsh on Bari. It's a fine piece of goalkeeping by Fontana.
That's right, yeah. At least this half we've had a lot of excitement, Peter, a lot of goal-mouth incidents that we really were void of in the first half.
Juventus on the verge of winning their first home game. Remember, they lost only once at home all last season in Serie A. Milan, the only team to overcome them. Draws for Roma and Cagliari. Otherwise, straight victories all the way, really, for Juventus. Now into the final minute. Conte, who has worked so diligently for Juventus. Vialli now. Steered back. In came Yanni. Couldn't finish it off. Barone. And Bari's defiance has been broken quite often now, late on in the half.
Yes, this game could have finished up about 4 or 5-0 for Juventus. I think Joe said earlier on that when Vialli scored that goal, it certainly would help his confidence, and it looked like that. He's gone on to have a very good game.
Shot was a tame one then from Cavalieri. Delivio. Now Ravanelli. We're into stoppage time. Foul by Pedone. Another clumsy tackle. Still no sign of a yellow card. We've had just the one in this game. Well, that for the most, two in fact. One of them was the most horrendous tackle by Amoruso. Marocchi. Now Vialli. Amoruso, very composed defending. I think Liam and I both feel he shouldn't still be out there, but in fairness to him, he's got in some excellent tackles. Here's Conte, Juve pressing right to the last now. Pedone. Time for Torricelli, revealing his composure under pressure. by Amoruso.
Well, after a draw last week, Peter, Juventus really needed to win this game today, and they've done that now, I think. And they'll do the club a power of good, really. It'll take the pressure off a bit that's been mounting. But I think they're going to have to improve in attack a little bit, because they're going to have a lot of teams come to Turin and defend like this in numbers. And they're going to have to be a little bit more imaginative with their play. But Lippi says it's early days. He wants a couple of months before he thinks the team will be in top form. But it's an important win for them today.
And they do have Roberto Baggio to come in, of course. There's Vialli. He's got Ravanelli with him. Decides to go it alone, to the chagrin of Ravanelli. But they could have won this far more comfortably in the end. But it all turned really on that penalty missed by Guerrero, when Bari could so easily have drawn level. Yes, Baggio to come back. No Didier Deschamps today. We were a bit surprised that he was left out, but I think Lippi wanted the runs of Vialli down the left. So Didier Deschamps was left out. And of course Sousa was injured early on as well. Vialli again. Juventus at least are finishing the game on a high. Off Baccone for a corner. We've had now 3 minutes of injury time. Elivio coming across to take the kick. The Bari players looking very despondent now. Tacchinardi. There is the final whistle. So Juventus have opened their home season with a win after last week's draw away to pressure. And the response from the crowd suggests they're at least happy with that. 20 fouls committed by Bari. Only 2 yellow cards though in the game. The referee, who gave what may have been a controversial penalty, we certainly felt it was a penalty though. Guerrero missed his kick, well saved by Peruzzi, and that really was the end of Bari's hopes. But Liam, looking back over Juve's display then, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yes, absolutely, but I think obviously Roberto Baggio coming back in the team will make a big difference. I'm just a little bit worried that they're going to struggle because they have no real pace up front. Vialli and Ravanelli and Baggio, they're all fairly quick, but nothing like the pace of a player I mentioned early on, Giuseppe Signori, that plays for Lazio. These kind of players can really get away, and I think we saw at the death there that Juventus had several chances that fell to Ravanelli and Vialli, but they couldn't get away from people. Defensively, I think they're going to be very hard to break down. Torricelli was absolutely brilliant today, and Kohler and Ferrara marking in front of him are obviously going to be very difficult to beat. But whether they can match Milan this season, well, I think they've got a bit of improvement to make.
Okay, well, let's look back on some of the highlights from the game. There weren't too many in the first half, but here was a chance when Torricelli committed that error there. Off went Bajica, and it was Guerrero's run and shot.
Yeah, it was only really a half chance, but Peruzzi saved well. We had Peroni following up there, but Peruzzi made a good save. He held on to the ball. This was a strange back pass from Kohler. I think he was actually looking for Ferrara out wide on the right, but he miscued his kick, and it was a good calm decision by Peruzzi.
Good headed clearance. Now this was the moment we thought maybe Juventus might have had a penalty. Del Piero thrown it on then by Tacchinardi, and it definitely looked to be a shove there.
Yes, and it looked as if Alessio used his elbow as well on Del Piero. But I think Could have understood the referee's decision. He probably let play go on because Vialli was in such a good position there, Peter.
Here's a shot from Del Piero, showing his sharpness. Unable to hit the target, though.
Yeah, it was all Juventus. They certainly were much more determined in the second half, and you could just sense that a goal was coming, and this was it. Good ball from Vialli, found Delivio outright. And something we said earlier on, first time that really cross was put in the right kind of area, and a great header from Gianluca Vialli.
Yes, they'd lost their bearings at the back then, Bari. Number 6, Ricci, way out of position as the cross was floated over. They've lost Vialli, and his header arrowed into the corner beyond Fontana. Well, now, was this a penalty? That was the question. You looked to me, yeah, that was a tuck, surely. So the referee was spot on there. Ferraro, the offender.
Yes, he got the decision right. No yellow card, incidentally, for Ferrara for fouling him. With a bad penalty from Guerrero. And this was the decisive goal from Juventus. Good cross from Marocchi. And Kohler, well, he not only did his job at the back, but he also got the decisive goal for Juventus.
And in the end, it could have been more. So let's look at the other scores then from Serie A this afternoon. Cagliari 1, Milan 1. Cagliari coming from behind there after Rudhulit had given Milan the lead. Cagliari's goal from Deli Valdez. Cremonese have beaten Napoli by 2-0. Pironcic with the first goal from Cremonese. They got a second after the break, and Tarantino of Napoli was sent off in the first half. Foggia 3, Brescia 1. De Vincenzo Biagioni with a penalty, and Bresciani the scorers for Foggia. And Brescia getting one back there in the second half. Genoa 1, Fiorentina 1. Onorati for Genoa, and Batistuta having earlier given Fiorentina the lead. Lazio 3, Torino 0. 2 goals for Signori. And one from Alan Boksic. So a comfortable win there for Paul Gascoigne's team. Lazio 3, Torino 0. Padova 0, Parma 3, Menotti, and 2 goals from the Colombian international Asprilla. One in each half. So Parma cruising to victory there against one of the promoted teams. Reggiana 0, Sampdoria 2. They've got another one later on there. Mancini on 85 minutes, and Lombardo getting the second goal in injury time, I'm told. Reggiana 0, Sampdoria 2. Sampdoria, who of course scored 5 last week at home to Padova. Inter against Roma being played tonight, and you can see highlights of that on Mezzanotte around midnight on Tuesday night here on Channel 4. So Sampdoria leading the way along with Parma and Lazio, all with maximum points so far from their 2 games. Foggia, Juventus, Fiorentina and Milan all on 4. So a 2-0 win for Juventus at home to Bari. So I hand you back now then to Joe Jordan with James Richardson.
Well, Joe, laborious and ponderous, 2 of the words we heard used in the first half about Juventus, but anything to inspire the fans to something a bit kinder in the second half?
Yeah, I think they played a little bit better. They weren't very convincing, I've got to admit, but I think looking at over 90 minutes, they certainly deserved their victory.
There was a lot of whistling in the first half, but as you say, it wasn't convincing. We can't really see Juve going on to challenge for the Scudetto after a performance like that, can we?
No, not in this performance, but Lippi, the manager, says that they are a little bit behind schedule, and so I think we've got to take his word for it. But on today's performance, I think we're looking for a wee bit more inspiration than was shown.
Right. Interesting refereeing, and we have covered this fairly thoroughly, but particularly when the first yellow card came, even that was a mistake. It should have been a red.
Yes, I would think that particular incident is an example of the way things should be now. I think he should have been collecting his second yellow card then and been going off. I think the player, that player in particular, had about 4 or 5, 6 times he'd been called up for bad tackles. So he really should have received the yellow card prior to that incident where he did receive the yellow card, and that really, he should have been going off.
Juventus, we said at the start and in the first half, a bit slow up front. Ravanelli, not exactly a goals monster today. People are talking, the big rumour in Italy is at the moment they're going to replace him with Carnevali, who's what, 31, 32? You think that's the right step for Juve?
Well, I think it did show it, and I would say more so in the second half, because Ravanelli did have 3 opportunities to break away from the pack that was chasing him, which would have given Juventus a convincing victory. And in those 3 occasions, he failed either to make the final pass or to get his shot on target. The lad doesn't have the pace, and I think if you're going to have a foil for Vialli, who I thought stuck at his task today, and I was delighted when he scored his goal, because he did miss a great opportunity, and he deserved that goal. So I think that partnership needs to be changed. Whether they've got that particular player on their books at this moment in time, I don't see it.
Okay, well, a win for Juventus, but not a convincing win. And would Badger have made the difference?
I think today certainly would, yeah. I think that inspiration that was shown from Baggio in the World Cup was missing today when Juventus needed it.
Okay, well, that's it from Turin pretty much. We're going to hit the Autostrada now, head up to Milan for Inter Roma, which should be a cracking game for you to see, and our Mezzanotte programme on Tuesday. Here's Ken with more details.
7 days ago, we enjoyed watching an impressive opening day victory